wind energy in India ushered in the green revolution. In the early 90s, we saw relatively, what today seem relatively small wind turbines come into the country, show that the technology worked, and as a result of the power purchase prices that were fixed by the MNRE, it grew very fast. Today, we are at the situation where we are adding more than a gigawatt of wind energy every year. We are looking at wind energy being one of the mainstays of our energy economy. We have a rich ecosystem for manufacturing wind turbines, for installing them, and for producing electricity, which then meets the needs of the millions of Indians who have a huge desire for, and an increasing desire for, electricity. It's also interesting that India has some very unique business models which push the demand for wind energy. Obviously, there are the IIPs, but that's relatively new. The independent power producers in India came later, but rather we had a rather interesting business model in which large organizations put up wind farms. All of this has helped create a system in which people are comfortable with wind, people are comfortable with the kind of energy that it provides, comfortable in investing in it, and know that this is a technology sector which will be fully serviced and maintained. As we look to the future, we see both new challenges, but more importantly, more opportunities. We are looking at doubling the capacity that we have in the country over the next 5 years. We have about 30 gigawatts of capacity, and we are looking to expand it to 60 gigawatts by 2022. This will obviously happen with a number of inputs, including technological performance, which is far better, including prices that are more competitive, and including machines that are larger and are able to use land more effectively. The recent move in India towards competitive bidding also has created a new dynamic of both performance enhancement and price reduction. Together, what it does is that it creates a market for a new generation of wind turbines, a new generation of investors, and a new generation of the way in which wind is integrated into the grid. The grid is an important issue because as the amount of renewables in the grid, wind and solar, keep on increasing, the way in which the grid is managed will also need to change. And therefore, we are also looking at a transition in the way intermittent wind energy can be used and used effectively. So this, we hope, in the years of the future becomes the primary source of energy, with fossil fuels making up the balance between what the renewables can provide and what the market needs at a given moment. Now, this obviously needs many things. It needs us also to focus on storage, especially short-term storage, to even out the spikes in generation. We would also need to see what are the kinds of technological improvements that are needed to make the grid respond to instantaneous increases both in supply side, the wind side, as well as the instantaneous increases and decreases on the demand side. We also need to create the market conditions that help bring in this electricity and improve the amount of need for it in the grid. As we look forward, we therefore are seeing a very large place for wind energy in this country. How does this happen? It happens when all of us, you and I, get together to focus on the energy needs of India of tomorrow being met in a green manner, in an affordable manner, in a manner that the electricity can be provided at the time when people need it. This is a challenge, but I'm sure that all of us together will not only meet it, but exceed it and provide models that can be used across the world. As we look to the future, all these transitions that we are looking for, whether it is on the grid, whether it is on the technology, whether it is on the business models, we need a place where these ideas can be discussed, where experience can be shared, and where new partnerships can be made. This is where Windergy comes into our lives. Windergy helps us look at both the problems of tomorrow but also the solutions of tomorrow. We hope that these solutions that are discussed here become the basis for moving wind energy from being the energy of the few to the energy of the most. Windergy is the catalyst for the future. I want to thank you, each one of you, for coming here, for sharing your thoughts with us, and for the support that you have provided to Windergy.